Hello, this is our speech stuttering session for today, and today we will be going over 3 different strategies. For the first strategy, we will be talking about slow rate, and slow rate is a speech strategy that obviously focuses on your rate of speech. At times, we tend to rush when we want to get something out, especially if it's hard to get out. But when we speed up or rush, it can become harder for someone to understand us. Because with speed, we make speech a more complex process, more complex than it already is. It can sound scary to slow down, especially when we're using speed to get through it because we don't want to stutter, but it is also a simple strategy to learn that may help. How do we use slow rate? Well, we focus on our voice and focus on the rate at which we're speaking. We don't only want to focus on the rate, but we want to maybe stretch out our speech. It can become sound a little rhythmic at times. To help some people, they might tap with their fingers or tap on their legs. They could use foot tapping. Some people use visual pacing boards initially, but for today we will be focusing on tapping, which can be more natural and easier to use out and about and not be as noticeable. We may also use objects at a later date called auditory feedback. That way that we can hear ourselves, understand how we're speaking, and we can process through it and realize that. I am now going to demonstrate. The dog lives in a blue house down the road. I will demonstrate another sentence. I like to eat blueberry pies. Obviously, I am emphasizing this a bit, and as we practice, we will be able to pick up our rate, slow down our rate, and find a good medium for what's necessary. And every time you use the strategy, it might be at a different rate. Slow rate will allow you as the speaker to also have direct articulation. Like I said earlier, the faster we go when speaking, the harder it can become to produce. It also becomes more complex, as I said earlier. There are different approaches to stuttering, and one of these believe that stuttering is a timing disorder. Using slow rate is a good strategy to start with and to continue to build on. This is the initial strategy that we're going over today, because as we continue to go over the new strategies, at some point we will be using them all together. For our second strategy today, we'll be talking about easy onset. And easy onset is a speech strategy that focuses on gradual initiation of the speech. This strategy is best used to combine with slow rate, and it can be used alone effectively, but again, it's best to use them together. Each kind of sound, for example, like vowels or voice consonants, which are things like L, Z, V, or voice fricatives, which are S and F, is best suited to use during the strategy. That's something that we will continue to practice, is knowing when to use them for what words and what sounds. It can feel like we're also expanding the sound while starting from maybe like a whisper or a soft tone and growing until our regular sound. I will demonstrate. I like ice cream. Again, I was a bit dramatizing or exaggerating that just to kind of get an emphasis. I will do another example. I feel very woozy. Again, it takes practice, and I was being very dramatic with it so that we can start from the beginning and just learn. Easy onset is one of the strategies that are great to build with slow rate, as I said earlier, and be able to combine the gentle start with the slow rate can be hard. So working on it for now, one-on-one, is great, and again, we will continue to build on this skill until we can synchronize them together. Easy onset will allow you as the speaker to lessen the rigidity of speech that typically goes hand in hand with stuttering. Typically, stuttering occurs at the beginning of the word or beginning of a sentence, so using easy onset initially for the sound can help you work through the initial stutter that might be occurring. Strategy 3, which is light articulatory contacts. And light articulatory contacts is a speech strategy that focuses on the movement of the articulators, which would be the lips, the teeth, and the tongue. Obviously, there are more articulators, but these are the ones that we're focusing on when using this strategy. The idea is to think of soft touches when producing sounds or speech. I like to think of like a feather, like when you lightly touch the feather to your skin, it's a light contact, it's soft. It's also a simple strategy that we can learn with self-regulation, much like the other ones. But how do we use light? articulatory contact. When producing phonemes or sounds like T, D, K, and B, which are called plosives, this strategy is best used. It is a purposeful relaxation of the articulars, and I'm going to demonstrate. The tiny red car. Now we'll do the next one. The kind bear. As you can see, instead of saying the tiny, it was the tiny. We're softening it up. Sometimes it might not feel, excuse me, sometimes it may not feel like there's a difference, but instead of being quick and almost intense with it, we're softening our touch with our tongue. With the P sound, we're softening that P sound or that B sound for bear. Instead of bear, it's softer. So light articulatory contact is best used, again, in synchronous. It's all the three of these strategies coming together. Relaxing the articulators in correlation relaxes or reduces the tension that we're using in our muscles. So again, not having that t so tight, that was reducing the tension, reducing the muscles, and it's producing softer speech. One of the approaches of stuttering believes that stuttering is caused by the tension of muscles, and this is helping to reduce that tension and to work through it. Soon we will be putting all these strategies again together, but as for now, we can practice them individually.